And so I'm just so tremendously exhilarated and excited about your energy. I'm excited about your healing power. I'm excited about your leadership, your leadership, your leadership. I'm excited about all the ways in which you're going to begin to reach out and change this world. All the ways in which you're going to be healed in ways you never even knew you could be healed. All the ways in which you're going to get energy that you didn't even know existed. You knew you needed more energy, but you didn't know this type of energy existed. You didn't know this type of exhilaration existed. You didn't know that this kind of adventure existed. You didn't even know all of this at all. But you're going to get it, and you're going to understand, and you're going to have energy like you never had before, and you're going to realize that there's a great spectrum of energy that goes and goes and goes with every type of every type of energy and ecstasy and enthusiasm and enchantment and adventure that you could ever think of. It's all there within that divine mind, our source, infinite mind, and it's ready to flow out to you now. And I'm getting excited about it, about thinking about how you're going to begin to lead out and change this world, and how many people are going to be healed, and how many people are going to be raised up, and how many people are going to have an exciting, thrilling life, and how wonderful the love is going to flow as it begins to flow, just like as if we picked up a great bucket of honey and just poured it over the face of this globe. The healers around the world that are lifting their consciousness are beginning to do that now, and that love and that brotherhood is going to begin to seal itself. It's going to begin to go across the world. People are going to begin to cooperate, and things are going to be able to turn around. We have the power right now to change every nation in this world. We have the power right now to heal and to provide food and feed people around the world. We have the power right now to cause all of the deserts even to flourish. We have the power to cause all the countries to flourish with great prosperity, and people around the world to have everything that they need, and always have never be without any thing that they would need for comfort or for enjoyment or excitement. We have that power right now, so we need to let the power flow. We need to get the power going. We need to get going. We need to get our energy going. We need to get the healing power going. And we need to get all this going right now this morning, and begin to watch all the changes that take place as we begin to start flowing this energy, as we begin to start flowing our healing power, as we begin to reach out in real, true leadership. We're going to see such changes that we cannot believe as we begin to do that this morning. So let's get the power flowing. Let's get the energy going, and let's get the healing glowing, and let's get ourselves to marching forward in our consciousness, in our abilities, and in our mind, and in our bodies, and in our health, and in our strength, and in all the good things. Let's get ourselves into those things today, and always be thinking about how you can lift somebody up, and how you can raise somebody out of their problems, and how you can give somebody a hand up, and how you can be how you can generally flow energy more. And so I'm going to listen to Tanya Love's program this morning and see how much she's got for us today. She always has such exhilarating thoughts, and she always has her mind upon this world. She has that world vision, the vision where to see the world a better place, to see people more loving and kind, to see this being a kinder, gentler globe, a kinder, gentler world, all nations cooperating together, see brotherhood, the brotherhood come together across the world, and brotherhood and sisterhood and all of the hood coming together, even the hood, and everybody coming together in power and strength and authority, and to change this world to a better place. And so I'm going to see. I know I've got my thoughts I've raised my awareness quite a bit this morning as I begin to think all these thoughts, and as I begin to let the Spirit flow. I begin to let that infinite mind flow in upon me. I begin to let that infinite source begin to inspire me, and begin to let that divine mind begin to give me those wonderful ideas of creativity, and to begin to sparkle up my brain, begin to raise my frequency, begin to get that the mental processes going. He comes in and he gets all those mental processes going, and he gets that energy flowing, and he gets my countenance glowing, and he just gets me going, and I get going out, and leadership and empower and authority, and begin to change things and begin to heal people. And I'm just excited this morning about who I'm going to heal today. We need to get excited every day about who we're going to heal today. Who are you going to heal today? Who are you going to heal today? Who are you going to heal today? Who are we all going to heal today? What countries are we going to pray about today? What countries are we going to lift up in our awareness today and say these countries are going to become more prosperous? These countries are going to become more abundant. Not just our own country, but all of these other countries are going to become abundant. Not just us, but our neighbors and our people in our own town, and people in our own state, and people in our own country are all going to become more abundant and prosperous. We don't seek or desire to keep any abundance to ourselves, because there's so much abundance. There's so much abundance. There's enough abundance for everyone. There's enough prosperity for everyone. There's no need for anybody to think that they're going to become abundant or prosperous, and somebody else is going to get left out because of their prosperity or their abundance. Or if I have something, the other person won't have as much. There's no need to think those kinds of thoughts, because it's not true. Infinite mind has enough abundance and prosperity for everyone on the face of the globe to have 100 times what they have now, and it won't even begin to even touch what infinite mind really intends for us to have and will have in the future. And what we'll have in the future is just so incomparable to everything we could even think we could have right now, that it's just not even worthy to be compared. And so we have such a marvelous future coming that we should never fear not having enough abundance or prosperity, or never fear not having enough resources. We should never fear that this world, this earth is going to become more and more abundant and more productive, and that humankind is going to, in their involvement, is not going to be able to be so much more marvelously creative, so creative that they'll be able to discover every form of technology and every form of needed power and strength and resource to do whatever we needed to do. If we ever did need to move on out to other abodes in the universe, we got the creative power, we got the potential in our mind. We only use 2%, after all, as scientists say, of all of the amount that we can develop our brain. And so with all that that's left in there, there's plenty left in there, and it's there because all that potential is there in case we ever did need it to begin to develop the technology to move out into other places, abodes in the universe, if that was to be ever become necessary. But we haven't even begun to develop the resources of this earth. We haven't begun to develop what we have right here. And we could grow, a population could grow just by leaps and bounds to what it is now. It could grow 3 or 4 times what it is now, and it'd still be plenty of resources and plenty of food and plenty of wealth and plenty of abundance. It's all just a political nonsense where we have these envious greedy leaders in these nations that are keeping their people poor, and they're keeping the abundance from them and hoarding it all for themselves and using it all to begin to try to take over more land and take over more territory, thinking that's going to provide them security and thinking that's going to provide them with some kind of immortality, not realizing that the immortality is already there within us. And so they have all these false ideas, and that's what's keeping this earth poor, and not these other countries that are poor. It's what's keeping them in that state. And as long as we retain those ideals and don't lift our consciousness, then there are going to be countries in the world that are going to have less than what they need. The people will have less than what they need, and there'll be poor people and all that kind of thing. But we're changing that. Our consciousness is rising, and we're beginning to come above that, and we're going to beginning to change that. And people in every country of the world, that's not just in one country or 2 or 3 countries or a dozen countries, but there's people in every country on the face of this globe that are rising their consciousness at a geometric rate to begin to take care of all these things. And so the future is going to be taken care of, and the future is going to change. The leaders are going to be changed, and there are going to be leaders there that are going to understand where the real source of abundance comes from, and they're going to begin to flourish their countries, and the people are going to be able to begin to prosper and become more abundant. And we're a part of all that. Every time we raise our consciousness a little bit, and every time we get in meditation and start praying for more people to be healed and more people to raise their consciousness, every time we do that, we're contributing to raising the overall awareness, and we're contributing to more people having more to eat and more abundance and a better home and a better house, a car, and all those kinds of things, and more prosperity in their life, and more healthier children, more educated children, and more prosperous in every way that you can think of. We're contributing to that when we raise our consciousness, when we spend time in our meditation room, when we spend time in our angel room like Tanya Love does. And I'm going to get her on it now and see if she can raise this awareness even more. She always does. Every time I think that I've raised my awareness to a high level, I say, well, I guess I'll just skip Tanya this morning and I'll just do something else, and go outside and work in the garden or go make my rounds and do other things and just hurry and get on out early and just maybe skip breakfast or skip Tanya Love. Well, then I always realize that I missed something, and I'll be saying that, I can get along without that because I've already raised my consciousness at such a high level, and I'm already so exhilarated and also already so full of energy that I don't even need her program this morning. But she'll make a liar out of me every time, because then when I finally decide, no, I better turn it on, I better not miss it, and then he'll come up with the very thought that I needed to inspire my day. And so I always realize that I need to listen to her every morning, and I always make it a point to do so. So I'm going to get her going this morning. I'm going to get her going before I go any further and let her begin to really inspire me this morning. I want to see what she has to say. Tanya, what do you have to tell us this morning?
Greetings, everyone. I'm Tanya Love, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Tanya Love Show. I just first of all wanted to thank all of you that wrote me and just were sending love to me and my family last week, since we canceled the shows after I had to assist my sweet soul sister Shiva in leaving her body. And it was really interesting, emotional time for me because she and I were so close. And I just want to thank all of you for taking time to honor her and to just send love to me as well. So thank you so much for that, and for being patient while I took a week off. I really felt that taking that week off was important for myself because, for one, I didn't think Amnon wanted to hear me cry for an hour. So I just figured I would just do that by myself. And so I did. And I feel that as humans, it's really important that we honor our emotions and that we allow ourselves to feel whatever is rising. And as it was coming up for me, I just felt like the most important thing for me was some time in nature. So I went hiking, and I just went to places that made me think of my dog, and really honored her and had a good cry and released all the attachment to her form. Because as humans, we love these forms. We love the forms of our beloved, our children, our animals, and that's natural. Like that's a normal thing that we would love that. But there's also a level of balance where when it's time to let go, there's a wisdom in honoring that for ourselves and for the soul that's now transitioning into a new form. And so I felt like not only was that important for me to take that time off for myself, but like I've always said, like, I really feel that the way I live my life is kind of shining an example and mirroring to others so that it can help them see that they have permission to also choose that for themselves. And a lot of clients that I work with, they have shared with me how much they struggle in honoring what they need. And, you know, I've had some clients recently come to me and they're like, oh, I really want to work with you. I want to come to your workshops, but, you know, I don't know if my husband would approve, or I don't know, my children might think I'm weird, or my friends might think I'm a weirdo. And I just feel that so many times during the day we're giving opportunities to honor ourselves and to really be true to ourselves. And it's really important that we listen to that and that we honor what we need. And